Hello and welcome to a mrreeee's beginner's guide to Palworld. Of course, I'm mrreeeee and I'm here to help you if you're new to the game and kind of the tips and tricks that really helped me at the start to trying to get where I'm at. I'm probably at 30 hours in right now. I'm kind of working my way through exploring the map and building guns and doing iron. And I think there's a lot of stuff right now that would help people catch that I kind of missed at the start. You can see some of my pals walking around doing their thing. So I thought I would start by just looking at pals for new players. Things you really need to understand is workability. So these are the things that happen when your pals are at base, and really looking for key things in your beginning stages of really what you want to definitely have to really get your base started. And then you can start like level 1, you start looking for level 2 versions, level 3 versions. So that's what workability. So there's kindling to help you with the fire and melting an ore. Planting your berries, handiwork helps you crafting. Like, they're pretty self-explanatory. I haven't really seen much in medicine production yet, but I'm interested to see. I haven't really needed the use for medicine at the moment. So when I get to usually using health pots and stuff, I'm keen to see some of the pals use that. Attack, defense, work speed. I don't think min-max really matters for you. I think the biggest thing is partner skill. This is Daydream. It's probably one of the most favorite pals at the moment you can get, because if you build an item with her, he's a he. Daydream will come into your party and you can have 2 pals out with him, so pretty important. So your partner skills are important. Active, again, I really don't worry about these. I can swap to other things, but I haven't really seen any use at the moment. I don't know if there's, like, I haven't done certain boss fights where I really want to min-max, but really they do enough damage. And then your passive skills are very important, and I'll show you one that I was lucky to get in my party. I have a Lambo on my party. Now, Lambo, not a really big partner, a pal that you see on the favorite, but what's interesting about my Lambo, if I go into it, he's got Vanguard and he has Stronghold Strategist, so he actually gives me 10% defense and attack, and he has 10% movement and 10% attack to himself, so it's very interesting. You know, those passives early on are really useful, so really check out what passive skills, and they kind of guide who you put into your base. So if we go over to your pal box and have a look at your management, of course in your pal box here, I have certain creeps I'm using. So I've got a Tombat, and he has level 2 for mining and gathering. He's really good early on to try and find because of that level 2 mining. Kremis is my wool production. I have a Vanworm, which I use for transport. He's level 3 transport. This is pretty much a late game. We're in mid game now, I guess. I have a lot of, like, 2 bosses here, 3 to electricity. So I'm looking for things. I've got my level 3 planter. You know, I'm looking to at least have, you want someone who can, you want a miner, a lumberer, someone who can plant, someone that can help you do work. You want to mix across your board. It's really important. Early on, you know, I had Cativa, I thought was really strong. I had Lambo for my wool. I had a Foxsparks for fire. I had a Penglet for my water. I had a Gusmos for my planting. Vixie is a huge pal. Vixie is really interesting because it has dig here as its passive. And it sometimes just drags items from the ground. So Vixies are really good because they can actually give you balls, spheres, your spheres straight off the bat, and they can farm. So it's like an infinite sphere supply if you can get a Vixie. I sometimes had Tiefin for watering. I guess I did have a Rush Boar early on for moving around on the mount, and then of course I ended up getting a Flyer, which is my Nightwing. So I think really understanding your pals and picking one of each type early on your base so that they're doing different activities for you. You know, once you start to build, and we'll segue into building here, but, you know, I've got people doing different things. I've got the ones who are planting the seeds. I've got the ones who are then watering the seeds and harvesting the seeds. So they're feeding themselves. So once you get a little a box going, they're feeding and looking after themselves, and the base is happening. Everyone's doing their different activities. I've got lumbering. I've got wood. You know, it's self-sustaining. So I think it's really important early on to get to that pretty quickly, so you don't have to worry about looking after your pals. You don't have to look about what resources. They're just managing themselves. So having that spread out is really good. What I learned, and my base is pretty disgusting looking, but I would not put workbenches inside, and I would spread out my camp. So I had a pretty min-maxy back here, everything really close, and the pals actually start to get stuck. Now, I don't know if it's because just coding, it's not intended, but I would actually make sure when you build your base very spread out. Do not congested like I did. Even these walls around my base are actually struggling. Some of the pals get stuck outside. So I think it's very important when you're doing your base, just spread it out at the start. Don't worry too much about making it look nice in the house. They will bug out, get starved, injured, or not produce what you're doing. At the moment, my workbenches are inside, and I even can't get my mobs into here because they're actually too big for this roof, and so they can't help me. So that's very important, I think, for when you're building your house. I'd probably build to the side and have everything outside, because pals get stuck. So I think that's very important when you start to base your build. Over to your upgrades, I think it's very important to start making sure you're upgrading your base. Base upgrades are good because at level 10 you get a second base, and that leads to one of your biggest problems quite early is your ore. Ore is one of the biggest resources you kind of have to become, you start to get starved with for gear. And so I actually made my second base an ore mining camp. Now, I recommend heading over the desert, which is kind of where Anubis is right now, where you can find yourself some Dumods and some Digtoises. They have really high mining. So over a day, they might mine 200 ore for me. And this is a great way to use your second base. I know there's sulfur next. I'm probably going to do the same thing with sulfur. So using your bases to min-max ore is so important. I don't know if later in the patch they're going to do anything about this, but this definitely helped me and is starting to help me progress through the next stage, and it's something you must do. A key thing here as well is to see I have my storage crate right next to my point, because I kind of collect all my ore, or it's already here, and I just want to instantly shift back to my base and bring it back to my main base to edit. So really thinking about where your storage crate is when you set up a mining base is really important. I can see right now, it looks like Flame Ball is like glitched out in here. So I think it's important to level it up. If you don't know already too, the enhanced pals around the map, you'll find the Lift Monk effigies. You should collect them, and that's something you can do when you're exploring, because that increases your capture power and makes it pretty good for capturing. I think pretty much everything with base building for a beginner. I think just get everything, catch what you can, make it self-sustain, spread your base out, and then kind of definitely build a mining situation for your mining. So I can see him, he's making all my iron. Combat, I guess, and we'll just transfer that and have a look at some stuff here for you. Of course, people will be raving about Daydream at the moment as one of the pals, because it can combat in combat. So of course, I can have one of my pals out. I think I'll put Daydream. She kind of glitches sometime, but because she has a pal item that you can make, I can have two pals out. So a lot of people like getting Daydream, and they can also stack her. Getting your first Nightwing is very important. Same thing, you can build a saddle on Nightwing, which gives you the ability to fly. So as soon as you can find a Nightwing, I recommend getting a Nightwing. It makes getting around the map super easy. Of course, you don't burn stamina when you're just flying on the ground. It's only when you start to lift off in the air you start to burn. And another good thing here with Nightwing, you can actually fly across the water. So getting a flying mount, super useful. I guess too, so when it comes like looking at my rush ore now, and it's probably going to be hard with combat because we're so high level. Catching is probably your best way. I'm on like Gigaseers now, but catching is definitely your best way to level up. You want to get 10 of each mon and really spend time running around and trying to collect. Of course, this guy's level 3 I'm showing you right now, but if I actually attack him, we'll probably kill him. Hitting him in the back, we'll see if we can get him. If not, I'm just going to kill him. Okay. Alright, 1,500 damage. Of course, killing can give the rewards or capturing, but capturing is probably a lot better because you get the resources. I think it's really important too, if you're running a Daydream, pressing 4 brings up this wheel to focus on same enemy, or it brings up don't attack. What will happen, and has happened numerous times during boss fights, is that I'm trying to hunt a T-Fant or trying to catch something, and because I haven't turned my creeps that don't attack, my Daydreams actually attacked and killed it, or the pal I've had out. So it's very important that you make sure that you don't just leave your creeps out when you're trying to catch, right? It makes it much harder to capture because they definitely get killed. So you can see there on these T-fans, I haven't done much farming at the most low level. I get XP bonus. It's probably the best way to level is capturing, honestly. Like you want to get those creative things going and build your way through. Item-wise, you eventually get stuff where you can automatically eat, which is pretty cool. I used a grappling gun because it's really good for movement. I have a legendary crossbow I lucked out, but I was using a gun before that. There is cold resistant metal armor. Probably around 30 you'll start looking at that heat resistant armor. Probably not worth. Shield gives me an overshield, which is definitely a must to build. And of course the glider can be good early on. Technology tree, I guess so far you just build what you want to build. I've kind of avoided stuff like the alarm bell, the hanging trap, furniture, like none of the saddles I don't need. And just focus on thinking, okay, well, I definitely gonna need that for the base. I'm gonna build. You know, I didn't need Tundra Tropic. I wasn't going any hot and cold areas early on. You know, I'm not gonna build the Jode Hole gloves. I'm just gonna pick things that I haven't or need to build. And so that's what I think you start with, and then you see later on. Can you? I don't know. I haven't been to end game. I don't know if you'll have enough points for everything. That's what you're just gonna have to learn when we get up there. On the right hand side is your ancient technology. Which is really cool for average feed bag, the condenser, items like that. They're earned by killing boss mobs. So the King Packer is a boss mob, which I have captured. Around the map, there are bosses. You kill or capture them and you get antique points. And those points help you build on that right-hand tree. So that's really important too. So the final one, there are also dungeons hidden around the map. They have like little bosses where you can get giant mobs and pals. But really cool. But I think really for you and early on, you're just really trying to mass production, capturing. After you start capturing, you kind of want to, you know, slowly improve your character, improve what pals you can get. You're upgrading their gathering, whatever it may be, to make your base. And then from there, it's a really, really explorative game. I think once you're kind of the stage I'm right now, there's a lot I can do. I'm probably at a stage where I really just want to go around and start capturing certain pals. I've done most of the boss fights. I've done dungeon fights. You know, I'm sitting at 33 right now. I've done that exploring. If you do and you haven't seen, Paldium is a resource you may need to collect. The best way to do Paldium is finding the hidden dungeons around the map. And there are different levels. If you're in a level 10 zone, you'll find a level 10 dungeon. And they just kind of, inside you find big Paldium ores that give like hundreds of Paldium ores. So if you're looking for Paldium early, I recommend that. I haven't really worked with any traders. I haven't need to, but there are trader villages where you can build and trade with them. Again, I haven't found any, honestly, that... Oh, I might have just nearly attacked them by accident. Wish we could have started. I could have been a criminal. But I haven't really gone to any town or built anything for the time being. There's a merchant here. He's got some stuff. Let's see what he's got. You know, basic merchant. I haven't actually got a Gobfin. That'd be worth a buy. I haven't found him yet. But I'd have to go back to my town and get my gold so I could buy him. But, yeah, so there's merchants around. I think, yeah, for a beginner, I think the biggest thing really to know is make sure you get the right pals. Spread your base out. Paldium comes from dungeons. Your ore is building an ore as soon as you can. Upgrading your base is very important. And then working on really just capturing and leveling up. So, the flight points give you trainer points, which is really good, and that helps you get around the map. But yet, I haven't fully explored, so I can't do that. So, I hope these little things help you, and I hope to make more of an advanced guide later. So, thanks for watching. I'm mrreeeee. Any comments in the chat, happy to answer. So, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.